Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is February 28th, 2019. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Planet X and religion. Is there a connection? Now, folks, listen, right off the bat, I'm not doing this live stream to offend anyone, to offend anyone's religion, but I often get a lot of emails, inbox messages, and questions in relation to biblical events and also what other YouTubers and researchers have put out there over the years in relation to, Nibiru, Wormwood, and also Planet X. Just give me 1 second here, folks. I'm going to go ahead and get my live stream, live chat going real quick, and we'll give a bunch of people the opportunity to get their lightning fast YouTube notifications so they can join in with us. So, just give me 1 second here. We'll go ahead and get this baby rolling. But I get a lot of these emails, and I've actually had a lot of discussions with Dr. Albers pertaining to religion and Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, the whole 9 yards. And I'm going to be quite honest. Everything that I have researched over the years tells me that there isn't any direct correlation, or there is no direct connection with this object that is out there orbiting our sun. Again, folks, let me get my disclaimer in there real quick. I'm not doing this live stream tonight to offend anyone. And I've actually said before that it's a real touchy subject whenever you try to commingle science and religion. Normally somebody gets offended. But please, just bear with me on this. Okay? Now, there have been many people out there that have tried to make this connection with Planet X, as we call it, and Nibiru and Wormwood. And again, folks, I've been studying this now for more than 20 years. And I've touched all subjects. I have investigated the theory of Nibiru and the 3,600-year orbit, Zachariah Sitchin, Robert Harrington. I've read all about Wormwood. And, don't forget, folks, I went to Catholic school. So, religion, reading the Bible, studying the Bible was part of my curriculum every single day. And the Bible is one big, gigantic history book. I watched a live stream today by this joker that goes by the name of Jeffrey Darty. He is, he's trying to call me out, wants to do a debate with me, and I welcomed the debate. He is the individual that called all of you and me idiots for believing in this subject matter, even though all of the evidence that I've produced and Dr. Albers has produced over the years is eye-opening. And just yesterday, we came up with, once again, some fantastic observational evidence. We're going to be taking a look at that also tonight. We're going to be taking a look at an article that I published on the Planet X News website early this morning in relation to cosmic rays. Once again, increasing, impacting the Earth. And that's very, very critical. And that's something that we need to learn about and pay very close attention to. One other subject matter in this live stream tonight, we're going to be talking about what's happening down in the Antarctic. More gigantic ice shelves breaking off. A recent article that just came out, and I updated some information in my article, and it is pertaining to a massive, massive chunk of ice that is probably going to be breaking off sometime soon, and it is the size of the state of New York. That's pretty big. And on top of that, the thickness of this chunk of ice. Now, this is not the only occurrence. For the last 3 years, we have been seeing this ice breaking, these large chunks coming off of the Antarctic. What's the reason? What's the cause? So we're going to be getting into a lot of this right now, but I want to touch base on this Planet X and religion. Now, I listened to this video that this Jeff Darty did. I think his channel is called the Christian Whistleblower, and at first glance, you might think that that he's a Christian himself. But after reading a lot of his comments under the Wayne Steiger video that I did the other day, and him calling me out to do this debate, which I was all set to do it tonight, and he canceled it, said he had other obligations. I wanted to do it tomorrow night, and within his latest video, he kind of makes fun of me and makes up a bunch of lies and said that he's done with me. I backed out, and that's absolutely not true. I was all prepared to go at it today. I'll go at it tomorrow. I'll go at it anytime. But I was reading some of the comments that his followers left under the Wayne Steiger video that I did the other day. And wow, these people are pretty sick-minded. They were actually going after Planet X News followers and subscribers, and they were getting in a little bit of a war and a battle about religion, and some of his followers were calling our followers, referring to their God as a bastard of all gods. Wow. That's why when you bring religion into things, boy, things really, really start to get hot and heavy. Excuse me. And we really shouldn't do that. That's a very, very sensitive subject. And I really don't play around with the religion factor, because it does have that huge sensitivity factor. Rightfully so. And he did a video prior to that, and he was thinking that he was putting out all of these facts about Earth catastrophes in relation to the Bible. And, WSO, Steve Olson's channel, was also very good for that. And personally, my personal thoughts, when someone tries to bring religion into this subject, and I've even warned Dr. Albers about this, to try to not mix the science and the religion factor up, but she is a Christian, and you can't change everyone's thoughts. And I've had a lot of followers just say the same thing. Oh, Scott, you're wrong. But just listen to me. The Bible talks about a lot. Ancient writings that go back all the way to some Chinese dynasties 5,000-6,000 years ago, talking about fire in the sky, a large red object, earth destruction, floods, plagues, things of that nature. So you're getting my drift, right? Okay. can we honestly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, blame that on this object that is now interacting and orbiting our sun? Well, the facts are we cannot. The object that is out there orbiting our sun right now was nowhere around 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. It's new to our solar system. Now, you may think that I'm completely 100% wrong, but listen to my thoughts. 20 years ago, well, we could actually go back much, much longer than that, but I don't want to bore you folks. But let's just go back 20 years ago. There was already data coming in by the space agencies in direct relation to the heating up of all of the planets. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, okay? They were all heating up. Even going back to the 1930s with renowned astronomer Percival Lowell, he was noticing perturbations in some of these planets. As technology increased, the space agencies were able to detect very, very severe changes with all of the planets in our solar system. 10 years ago, David Wilcock did a study, and he put together all of the information that he could gather in relation to these planets heating up and their orbits being slightly perturbed. And the facts are the facts. He proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Undeniable. So, once again, this object that we've been studying and we've been detecting, it hasn't been there all the time. It hasn't been here for 50 years. It hasn't been here for 100 years. It hasn't been here in the time of Jesus. It hasn't been here in the time of Moses. It hasn't been here, period. It's new. I would say probably somewhere between, maybe, it's really hard to say, but the earliest observational evidence and video evidence that we have of it is in 2007. And if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a couple of years, I've showed that video many, many times. That object coming in, looping around the sun, and heading back out. And that is the orbital pattern, the orbital path that this object had at the time. And that is the earliest detection that we had. So there is a lot of data out there that supports what I'm saying. At the same time, now listen very carefully, at the same time, I'm not saying that things did not happen on this planet. Other objects, whether they were comets, whether they were dwarf stars, rogue planets, meteors, asteroids, we really don't know what our ancestors were actually seeing in the skies, because they were ancient man, and they did write this down, they did depict this, but we don't have hardcore scientific evidence of what they actually saw. So you see my point. Things did occur. In the very early infancy of the Earth, before it even had an atmosphere, nobody really knows what was occurring out there. I'm sure that our solar system was a very violent place at the time. Maybe things calmed down. It seems to be. And over the course of the last year, I've been studying these hypervelocity stars and hypervelocity planets. We don't hear much about them, but they're very dangerous. I mean, these are rogue objects that are blazing through our galaxy, blazing through the universe at 1,000,000 miles per hour or greater. These objects are normally close to the center of galaxies. And at some point, for some dynamic reason, they get ejected from that very close point to the center of the galaxy. They get ejected, and whatever direction they are going, that is the direction and the path that they will stay on for eternity, unless they have a collision with another object, or they get in close proximity to a star with a very, very strong gravitational field and magnetic field, and at that point in time, they'll usually get pulled in. And, it kind of becomes like Jupiter, I mean, like, it seemed like every week Jupiter was gathering a new moon or a new object. So understanding some of these dynamics of space and planets and stars, that's a big, big factor. Gil Broussard, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard his name. I've had many, many, many talks, personal talks with Gil. One time when we first met, we spoke for 4 hours. 4 hours. We did a live stream with him that was about 3.5 hours. And I respect all of his research, all of his data, and he did a pretty good job of tying everything in with the Bible. But see, folks, what he was tying in were things from the past. And those things from the past have already come and gone. So, let's take the blinders off and let's think outside of the box. If you think that our little solar system will never ever have another visitor come whipping through, whether it be a dwarf star, another star, a rogue planet, a hypervelocity star, a hypervelocity planet, if you think that this cannot happen, well, you're wrong. Because it can happen. What are the odds? Nobody can put a number on that. Now, in the 1970s, NASA, the space agencies, they were sending out probes. They were sending them in 2 specific directions. Now, in space, I guess, there's really no north and south. But let's just hypothetically say, okay, they sent one probe upwards, north, and to a very specific direction. And then they sent another one downward, south, in a very specific direction. So my point is, these space agencies knew something, because they're not going to spend tens of millions of dollars to build a space probe to just fling it out into space and just let it go. They had a direction. They knew where they wanted to go. Now, apparently, they didn't find anything whenever they sent the, I believe it was the Horizons. Oh God, the name's slipping my mind. It might not be Horizons. I'd have to pull up the my actual pictures that I have of their orbits. They didn't find anything, but there's some evidence showing that whenever they sent the probe to the southern region below the Earth, out that way, yeah, I think they detected something. Later on came the IRAS, the Infrared Space Telescope. Where did they send that? They sent it in the same identical direction. Excuse me. Well, why would they do that? Well, they would do that because they saw something and they needed an infrared telescope because they kind of knew what it was and that it would only be able to be detected and get clear shots of it using infrared technology. They claim that the IRAS space telescope broke down, but I think that's a lie. There is an interview that Dr. Robert Harrington did with a British reporter. And I used to have the whole entire video in my computer. I think I might have accidentally deleted this. But he was talking about the information that was on the IRAS data reels. Okay, now back then, folks, they didn't have computers like we did. Their computers were the size of large refrigerators, and they had the big, gigantic reel-to-reel magnetic reel tape. And that's where all the data was stored on. One of the comments that he made to the reporter was there was 18,000 miles of data on those reels, and that it would take him years to go through the data unless there were some technology breakthroughs with computers. But he didn't live long enough to see those breakthroughs. So we will never know, the general public will never ever know what was on those IRAS data reels. We will never know. They'll never release that information. Number one, they lied about the IRAS space telescope breaking down, and they lost it. That's total garbage. So they knew that something was coming from the depths of space upwards towards our solar system. Not towards Earth, but towards our solar system, because it was way too far away for them to get a perfect trajectory on where it was coming to. But they knew it was coming in the pathway of our solar system. And then technology got better. And the cover-up began. Now, you've heard some other insiders make statements that, they were there. They were working at the JPL. They were working for NASA. And some of the comments were made, oh, hell, that thing's 50 to 60 years away. I'll be dead by then. No big deal. Well, that 50 years has come and gone. You've heard those statements if you've watched these old Planet X or Nibiru videos. How true all of that is, I don't know. We can't say it's crap or it's absolutely real 100% because we weren't there. But looking into all of this, there's a very, very high possibility, like about 95%, that, yeah, that was real. And they knew that something was coming towards our solar system. And as the years went by, we started getting into the 1980s, and that's when things really got shut down in the Ronald Reagan era. And then that's it. You're all blank. Hush, hush. Top secret. You know, all of Dr. Harrington's files, all of his findings, still to this day, they're classified. Why? Why would they be classified? See, that throws up a big red flag. So, the point that I'm trying to make, sorry for being so long-winded, but I wanted to give all of you a really good explanation on this. The object that is out there now, that the sun has actually captured, is not Wormwood, it's not Nibiru. This is the object that Dr. Harrington saw when he was doing his research in the southern hemisphere in New Zealand. And even at that point in time, when he spotted this object, and listen, folks, he was only using, I think, a small 8-inch telescope that he custom designed and built. So if you know anything about the WISE survey, you know, some of the ways these astronomers now, and even back then, they're going to take a plate, a picture of the star field, and then they're going to take another picture the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and they'll overlay them, and they'll compare, and they'll see if those little white dots that are supposed to be planets and stars and whatever's out there, if they've moved. So that was the old way of doing things. And that's all that Harrington really saw. He saw something that was moving over a course of time. And it was moving towards us, not away from us, not to the side, not to the right, not to the left, up, down. It was coming towards us. So I think those reports that he was sending back to the United States, I think those are what actually got him killed, because I don't believe that that man died of esophageal cancer 1, 2, 3, just like that. Now, getting back to the religion factor, we all know floods, catastrophes, major earth changes. No matter how far you go back, folks, the earth had many visitors. I'm not talking about aliens, but I'm talking about asteroids, possibly comets, meteors. Lord only knows what. We really don't know what our ancient ancestors really saw. But apparently, some of those objects caused massive destruction on this planet. And it was documented. But what I find going on now, and what's actually been going on for a lot of years, are other people playing on your beliefs, your religious beliefs, leading you to believe that this object is Wormwood, this object is Nibiru, but it's not. This object is not wormwood. This object is not Nibiru. This object was a rogue, or is a rogue object from the depths of space. And folks, you know, we'll probably live through this, and our kids and their kids and their kids will probably live through this. But there are going to be some very, very severe changes on this planet. And I think that the Earth has been through this many, many times. Probably so many times we don't even know. You know, a lot of scientists just theorize when they talk about the destruction, the extinction of the dinosaurs, and, you know, man evolving from apes, which I don't believe. Yeah, I've had a lot of battles with teachers in school about the Darwin's theory of evolution. But I see a lot of YouTube channels hitting religious folks that have deep faith, but their science doesn't back it up. None of the, I hate to be critical here, but I'll just come out and say it. None of the religious or scientific data that WSO puts out, it's pretty much a farce. He's pretty much played on the religious factor with all of his followers. And to be honest with you folks, that's very easy to do, because it is a subject matter that you hold very, very close to your heart. It is a very, very deep belief. So therefore, you fall into that realm. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not super duper religious. I definitely believe in a higher form of a creator. I think about it all the time. Where did all of this come from? I look at my little dog and I think to myself, okay, he's just a little dog, but he's such a complex little creature. Everything on our planet is complex. Just a leaf falling off a tree is a complex structure. So we definitely have some type of very super divine creation. Something created all of this. But splitting these things apart, splitting religion away from this actual science of what is happening, I think is very critical for a lot of you that have been told this is wormwood or this is Nibiru, because it is not. All of the science that I have delved into for all of these years is telling me that yes, this was a rogue object, probably not the first, and probably after we're all dead and gone, won't be the last. So if you think our little solar system will never ever be invaded by other objects that are out there in the galaxy, many galaxies, or the universe, you're sadly mistaken. This happens constantly. Let's just put it this way. Over the centuries, we've actually been pretty lucky. Maybe we're in that little Goldilocks zone. Maybe not. Because we have a pretty massive object now. that has been captured by our sun. It came in. The sun's gravitational energy snagged this object right up. And I do believe that this object does have other smaller bodies with it. We really haven't been able to capture all of it at once. However, I was able to capture one photograph over all of these years. I was actually able to catch one photograph on the SETI SREM imaging, the SREM, showing this cluster. And it is undeniable. Undeniable. But what's been happening out there since this object has been interacting with our sun, and it seems to be on about a 28-day orbit around our sun. Our sun rotates on its axis every 28 days. This object seems to rotate on its axis very rapidly. And if you go and you research hypervelocity stars and hypervelocity planets, and you do research brown dwarf stars, quasars, things of that nature, you will see that these objects spin so fast it would just blow your mind. So again, there are so many factors in what we're researching. And then you have these bozos out there that call you a liar. But that's all that they can say. But when you sit back and you look at the evidence, well, that tells a different story. Because we have all kinds of earth changes happening. And it seems that it's all on an uptick, a very severe uptick. So I don't think that there is any religious connection with Planet X, what is actually out there now in our inner solar system. All of the data is pointing to that direction, that this was its own object that was just, moseying on through space. It could have been traveling for millions, if not billions of years. And it arrived here. Folks, we could wake up tomorrow morning, and if the space agencies would just tell the truth to the general public for once, we could wake up tomorrow morning and they would say, hey, wow, we just detected a rogue planetary object, exoplanet, headed straight for our solar system. It's going to be here in about 25 years. They'll never say that. And they do miss objects, folks. Look how many meteors, look how many asteroids they miss. They capture it just before it, impacts the Earth. I mean, we all saw what happened in Chelyabinsk, Russia back in 2013. They didn't even see that object coming in to the very last second, and then boom, it exploded. Thank God in the upper atmosphere, but it did a lot of destruction. I think it damaged 1,000 buildings and injured 1,500 people. You've all seen the videos. We've all listened to the theories about how the dinosaurs were wiped out. We've all listened to the theories about how water arrived on our planet, possibly being seeded by comets. Again, folks, these are pretty much theories from scientists that they've thrown out there over decades. But getting back to the historical record, and this is what this butt munch Jeff Daugherty was talking about. And he was going back through all of these historical records. There's no evidence that Planet X came here. He has the whole Nibiru story mixed up with the Wormwood story with Planet. He doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. He's just sitting there babbling away like kind of like a troll, you know? Not making any sense whatsoever. So when I get the opportunity to do a live stream with him, I'm going to put him right in his place. It's going to be fun. But then he told all of his people that I backed out and I did not accept his challenge. And then he was, showing some emails that me and him were going back and forth with. And he only showed part of the emails. He didn't show you all of the emails. But anyways, anyhow and anywho, I'm going to get into this article on the Planet X News website related to cosmic rays. And we've been charting this for years now. And these cosmic rays are getting worse. And these cosmic rays are very, very damaging to our planet. They're very damaging to plant life. They're damaging to everything. And they are on the increase. Folks, if you don't believe me, listen to Ben Davis over at Suspicious Observers. He talks about it all the time. He shows the same chart. He's watching it too. And then we're going to check out this report about this large New York state-sized chunk of ice that's about to break off of the Antarctic. Very concerning times. But listen, folks, I hope that I did not offend anybody with my research and the relationship between Planet X and religion. I'm just trying to give you guys some facts so nobody fools you anymore. And if you are serious about learning what is out there and learning about the effects, I'm just trying to give you a nice piece of the truth, not just a story. And definitely not a story just out of the Bible. Because everything in the Bible can be translated in different ways. But one thing is for sure, always maintain your faith in whatever God you believe in or you worship. So far, we still have that right. But I'm going to say this much. I did not appreciate the comments that were being left underneath my videos from Jeff Darty's people. They were very, very blasphemous and very degrading to people who are Christians. He's a very weird dude, man. He's a very, very weird dude. But, yeah, we'll bump heads here sometime in the future there, Jeffro, if you're listening to us. Let's check out these articles here. So we're over here at the Planet X News website. We're going to jump into this article on the cosmic rays. And I'm going to go ahead and... where is it? I'm going to go ahead and put this article into the live chat. You guys want to check it out? Check it out. It's good reading. It's good knowledge. And, you'll learn something. I learn something new every day. Cosmic rays in Earth's atmosphere intensifying for the 4th year in a row. And here's the chart. And I'm not going to bore you to death with this entire article because it's scientific. But again, you'll learn. So 4 years now, we've seen this very steep uptick in these cosmic rays. The chart going back from March 2015 through January of 2019. This is constantly updated. And as you can see, the data doesn't lie. There's your line, straight up. And again, folks, these cosmic rays are very damaging. So again, read this article, check it out, and broaden your mind. Learn more. I mean, that's what I try to do every single day. I don't even know how much reading I do on a daily basis. That's probably why I get headaches. This second article, and this is just blowing my mind again. Iceberg, twice the size of New York City, set to break off of the Antarctic ice shelf. And here you go. It's the Brunt Ice Shelf. You could see the crack right here. And I'm going to show you the position of this in relation to the very, very tip of South America. So the reason why this is kind of critical is when this damn thing breaks off, wow, it's not going to be too far from the very southern tip of South America. Now, I don't think that this is going to cause massive amounts of flooding or huge differences in sea and ocean rise. But what I'm trying to say is we've seen a lot of this going on in the Antarctic for the last several years. Something is going on down there, real far down there, down under. So again, check this article out, read it, and what I did, I'm going to go ahead and pull this. I did a little video of this, okay? And this is what the ice shelf looked like before that crack, that fissure started. Now, you can play this and check it out. This slider goes over, and then it exposes the huge fracture. And you could see, folks, it doesn't have much further to go before it breaks off completely. And even though this large ice shelf is the size of the state of New York, remember how thick the ice is in the Antarctic. It's miles thick. So that, we'll go ahead and replay that. That is a huge ice cube. And again, that's not the only one. We've been seeing this now for the last several years. And where this one is located, whew, wow, when this thing breaks off, God only knows what direction it's going to go. But it's located right near the tip of South America. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that, and I'll show you exactly where it is. So here are two still photographs, a before and after. And you can see that's a huge, huge crack. And it doesn't have too much further to go, and that thing's probably going to break off and start floating away. Where it goes, we're going to see. And this was the extent of the fracture as of January 23rd. Here is another one that they're calling the Halloween crack, October 31st. That fissure and this fissure, once these two meet, party's over. That gigantic ice shelf is now free. They state here that it is 1,700 square kilometers. approximately 660 square miles. Yeah, that's pretty damn big. I want to go back here real quick, and I'm going to show you the little map, because I did two of these articles, one on the 24th of February, and this one I just did this morning. But this one here, this is going to show you. Just let me pan down to the little picture here. Okay, this is showing you the large crack. You can see the whole entire area of the Antarctic right here. Where the little red square is where this is breaking off. When you look at the Antarctica, on the globe, this little tip turns upward towards the tip of South America. So whenever this happens, this is going to be like a big event. When it's going to happen, I don't know. The southern hemisphere is currently in their summertime. So at any point in time, while the temperatures are much, much warmer in the Antarctica now, it could happen today, it could happen tomorrow, it could never happen. But by the looks of it, folks, and by the attention that it's getting, it looks like it's imminent. It's going to bust off of there. And again, it's not the only ice cube that is about to break off of the Antarctica. There are all kinds of crazy things going on. No doubt about that. Excuse me. I'm going to give you guys this article. Check it out. Pretty interesting. And let me just go ahead and jump back, because I did two of these articles about 4 or 5 days apart because some new data came out. And then I did that little slider video. I'll include this one. This one here has the little slider video that shows the before and after, and it shows that huge crack. And again, folks, read up on it. It's not like it's boring material. It's definitely interesting, because I'll tell you what, man, it caught my eye, and I've been keeping track of it nonstop, because I want to know everything. We have some pretty crazy weather woes coming our way, and I got 55-degree temperatures at 4 a.m. when I woke up this morning. And, oops. Then that all turned to hell in a matter of hours. The temperature dropped from 55 to, I think it was 29 degrees late this afternoon. Out there on the West Coast, wow. They are just getting crushed. The Russian River. If you guys want to look this up, you could just go ahead and Google Russian River out in California. Wow. They got literally pounded once again. They have very, very, very severe flooding. We'll go ahead and play this video, but you could see it's pretty bad. That's just some wacky music. Let me go ahead and expand this, and we'll take a look at it. We'll go ahead and start this over real quick. But you can see, that house is almost completely submerged except for the peaks on the roof. And this is out in California. Just absolutely devastating. That's like a lake. It's just very, very sad. A lot of people are going to be displaced for a very, very long period of time. And some of the information coming out of California I was listening to, the other day was talking about how many people have moved out of the state of California because of all of these natural disasters, all of the fires, the earthquakes, the landslides, the torrential rains. I mean, they have been getting hammered left and right, more than just about any state in this country. So if you just want to research what's happening, just go ahead and Google Russian River. They're talking about here the historical flood levels of the Russian River, 49.7 feet, December 23rd, 1955. Wow, that's pretty high. Incredible. So right now the Russian River forecast to peak at 46.1 feet. That was late Wednesday. So they're getting close. They say that within the next couple of days, it should start to go down. We'll see. Let's hope they don't get hit with any more weather. Let's take a look at the crap news network, CNN. Let's see what they have to say about this. I really didn't have a chance to go into too much of this afternoon because I was like super busy. But yeah, look at that. Thank God these people have canoes, right? Wow. Wow, look at that bridge. Then we got a little video here. Let's just go ahead and play it and see what it is.
Lightning strikes, tornadoes, or hurricanes. That's 3.5 foot fence right there on the left. It says 3.5 to 4 foot thing right now. But the quickest and one of the most dangerous forms of this type of weather are flash flooding events. Now, as their namesake indicates, these events happen at a moment's notice. Now, if you have heavy enough rain in a short time period, you can fully saturate the soil. If the surrounding soil is overwhelmed, the ground essentially cannot hold any more water. You have yourself a flash flood event. Urban environments, mountainous terrain, and poor infrastructure can really worsen the effects. But once the rain stops, flash flooding typically stops, generally lasting between minutes to hours. And all of that water has to find an exit point, and it typically finds it by making its way to rivers, streams, or creeks. If enough rain falls, what are often streams can turn into raging rivers. These rivers can rise for days or weeks, even if the rain has stopped at a given location. As the water begins to rise, it can eventually become a flood, and depending on the water level, it can range from a minor to a major flood. The crest is the point where the river reaches its highest point. This, in essence, can be a slow-motion disaster because that water wants to find its way to the main river mouth and be deposited back into the bay or the ocean. These events can last a period of weeks or months, spanning hundreds of miles before the water recedes back to its normal level.
Wow, for once, CNN actually puts together a decent video. Before I let you all go, I wanted to go over this video. This is what I was showing you folks yesterday. This was a research capture by Mark from the Blue Kool-Aid channel. He's been doing some fantastic research. He's been on point. And again, he just sent me a text message just before I went on air. And I was saying yesterday, that I was going to go back through all of my videos. And there's like 1,900 of them. Oh my God. Because we've seen this object before appear on the SREM, the SREM imaging. And this is the actual video. This is not the video that I showed you guys yesterday that I produced, and I made it into a higher definition. If you look down here, lower left-hand corner, you will see this is from the 25th of February, 2019. You're going to see little Mercury right here on the little stick here. It's actually a current line. But let's just watch this. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Oops, I got it going backwards. And the reason why you see it fade out is because, remember, folks, everything in space is in constant motion. So that's why it's fading out of the camera's view. I was hoping that it would come forward this way, but unfortunately, it's going the opposite way. So this is what we captured. And you can clearly see that that object is spinning. And this is the normal speed. I haven't sped it up. I haven't slowed it down. Now, in the video portion that I showed you guys last night, I slowed that down about 25%. This is the regular speed. This is coming directly from the Secchi AHI-1 SREM. And again, folks, you know, you have these nut jobs out there that tell you that, oh, Planet X is fake. Well, okay. Well, what the hell is that? You have the sun off to the left. You have Mercury in transition, moving to the right. Well, what the hell is that over there? To the right, to the very far right. What is it? It's rotating. Oh, could it be Venus? No. Could it be the Earth? I don't think so. Is it Mars? No. What is it? It's the X factor. That's what it is. And let me show you something, folks. Now that we've perused this, let's just take a look at this. Okay. Each and every day, you can go to the stereo website and you can click on the little link that will show you the exact position of the spacecraft that took that video. Okay? Now, I've put these words in here. Current position. I put this little golden globe here, and I put this aqua blue orbit in here. This is Mercury. Now, the rest of this is what you get. Whenever you click on the link, it gives you the exact date for today, February 28th, 2019, 2100 hours Universal Time. This is where Stereo A is. So this is where the spacecraft is that has that camera on it. This is the direction that it's looking, directly to the sun. That's Stereo B, that's another spacecraft that they say has been disabled and broke down. I don't believe them one bit. Here's Venus all the way over here. So this dotted line is the line of sight from the Stereo A camera straight to the sun. As you can see, Mercury made its way through the view of the camera. So that was 3 days ago. Mercury was in a different position back here. What is this object that was in the view of the camera on the 25th of February? And again, folks, we see where Earth is. Now, I didn't put these in there. The A, the Earth, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, the Stereo B, these are all part of the map. I only put the current position, the arrow, the orbit, and the little gold globe here. The little gold globe is identifying the exact position of that object that I just showed you on the Secchi image. That is the only place that that object could be in order for that camera to pick it up. Case closed. So Mark from the Blue Kool-Aid channel, he did some homework for the both of us, and he went back. He went back and he found that this object has been appearing at certain times all the way back to 2013. He did some great work, great homework, great research. And I think he's probably going to be doing a video on that, and you guys should definitely check it out. He did a hell of a job. So, for people that are naysayers, okay, well, you want scientific evidence? Boom, here it is, right in your face. You want observational evidence? Bingo, here it is, right in your face. See, folks, it's very easy to sit back and call you a liar. But can you prove it? I mean, we're proving that that object was there in the view of that camera on the 25th of February 2019. And you can clearly see, in the view of that camera, there's your line of sight. That's about where that object would be located. And as I've said before, this object is in an elliptical orbit around our sun. And it's moving very, very fast. Very fast. So every 28 days, that object is looping around. Now, here's something that me and Dr. Albers were theorizing today, and we were in deep, deep conversation about this. And this is like the X factor in this theory. Because the sun is losing so much energy and dipping into a solar minimum, that means that the sun's magnetic field is getting weaker. If the sun's magnetic field is getting weaker, there's a high possibility that this object's orbit could change over time. That's like one of those oh shit moments, you know, because everything that you researched and everything that you've put together over the last couple of years may just be out the door. We're going to have to watch this very, very closely over time. But you know, now it's very, very hard gathering the evidence. The space agencies know what we're looking for. They know where we're looking. So therefore, you know, they may block us. They may, I don't know. It's very hard to say. I'm actually a little worried about it, to tell you the truth. But the object is definitely here to stay. How long? You know, it could be hundreds of years, thousands of years. Who knows? There are so many factors that no one has all of the answers. I wish somebody did. I'm dying to know, just like all of you. But that's where we're at, folks. You know, I wanted to touch base with all of you on this Planet X and religion. And I hope I didn't offend anybody. You know, I tried to go as soft as possible on that subject matter. But I really hate seeing people taken advantage of, you know, by others that want to pump your head full of, well, let's just say misinformation. Or maybe they don't know better. But everything that I've gathered over all of these years, well, it points to exactly what I opened up this live stream with. Yes, at some point in time, there were all kinds of cataclysms on this planet. Rogue visitors whipping through space, causing issues on Earth, causing issues with other planets. Whatever happened to the atmosphere on Mars? What came by and stripped the atmosphere away? It could have been a massive CME, or it could have been a rogue object, such as our Planet X object. Who knows? None of us were around to see it. We could only theorize on what actually happened. And that's all that scientists do. They just sit there and they give you their theories, fancy words, fancy mathematical equations, and they have those degrees, and you tend to believe them. But whatever's out there, oh, it's there. There's no doubt about it. But we'll continue because the research is definitely very interesting. Well, at least I find it interesting, and I'm sure all of you do too, or you wouldn't be listening to me this evening. But that's where we're at, folks. I did try and see if we were able to gather a little bit more information on this object right here, the one that we were looking at on the SREM. I went a little further out to the 26th and 27th, but it was going the other way. It was going out of the view of the camera. I was hoping that it would be coming inward, and yeah, it didn't. So we were able to capture, well, just a little over half of it in the view, and you all saw it clearly rotating. But check out those articles that I showed you guys. And let me just dip over here real quick. A lot of good articles on the Planet X News website. I'll put the link to our website in there so you guys can check it out. Put it in there again. And a lot of good stuff on there. By the way, I want to say thank you to Mark from the Blue Kool-Aid channel. Thank you very much for moderating. And hopefully, me and Mark's going to get together with Dr. Albers, and we're going to do a live stream. Hopefully, we could get together this upcoming weekend and touch base on some subjects. And hopefully, that loudmouth Jeff Darty, maybe we should take a little peek at his YouTube channel real quick. Let's see this guy. How do you spell his last name? Oh, there he is. Oh, Jeff Darty Exposed. Oh, I got to watch some of this stuff. Yeah, here you go. He did this video, his little hit piece on me. Oh, God. It was absolutely hilarious. You gotta let this ad play. Oh, you ought to read the comments. Oh, my God almighty. But, just look. I don't know what the thing is with that little mushroom haircut of his. And he was over there in this video talking about how he's an ex-hockey player, and he came in tonight with his hockey shirt on, ready to throw down the gloves. And look, buddy, I know hockey players. I got a few of them that are my friends. They still play hockey to this day. Hey, man, Pittsburgh Penguins, buddy. But I don't know any hockey players who have these little itty-bitty rounded shoulders like you got there. So, anyways, he claims that I took a cheap shot at Wayne Steiger, and I did not take a cheap shot at him or Wayne. Facts are facts. He said I did not accept his challenge. I most certainly did. And then he said that I ran home to my mama. Look, folks, you guys all know me. I don't run from shit. So I could sit here and show you the emails that went back and forth with me and Mr. Jethro, but I don't want to waste your time. If you guys want to go over to his YouTube channel and you want to watch this video, I was watching this, and I watched it. I think it's like almost 10 minutes long. I watched this. You could see some of the comments that I left, and I told him, I said he owes me a new keyboard for my computer because while I was watching his video, I was laughing so hard that I spit my coffee into my keyboard and ruined it. So this dude owes me a new keyboard. I mean, I was just joking around. But, yeah. And listen, man, you could go through these comments and read how pathetic these people are and read how anti-Christian they are. He calls himself the Christian whistleblower. I'm kind of wondering what's really behind that name. He's a pretty weird dude. But anyways, if you guys don't have nothing to do and you're looking for a few laughs, go check this dude out, man. Whatever you do, don't subscribe to his channel. You could go give him the business, throw down your gloves, maybe do the dance. Listen how tough he is. It was pretty comical. But anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed the information that I gathered. And once again, I hope I didn't offend anybody with my take on Planet X, its connection to religion and past history. And there's a lot more to delve into. And we definitely will. There's no doubt about it. But I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream now. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. I have a few articles that I have to write for the MFA Media Group website. All kinds of political action going on out there. And I'll probably be up for the next couple of hours. But listen, you all hear from me tomorrow. And hopefully, me and Mark from the Blue Kool-Aid channel will get together with Dr. Albers. And we'll give you some more truth. So listen, folks, stay safe out there. Keep an eye in the sky. Watch your weather. Because over the next couple of days, things are going to get real dicey here in the United States. Here in the Pittsburgh area, we're expecting all kinds of weather woes over the next 3 to 4 days. So take care, folks. Nice talking to you. And once again, I hope I didn't offend anybody with my live stream tonight based on the Planet X connection with religion. And all of you, say a prayer for me tonight. Take care, guys.